Quietly, after difficult news, if in financial downturns you remain perfectly calm, if you can see your neighbors travel to fantastic places without a twinge of jealousy, if you can happily eat whatever it is put on your plate, and then fall asleep after a day of running around without a drink or a pill, if you can always find contentment just where you are, you're probably a dog. That was by Jack Cornfield.
Jack Cornfield, that's good. That was better than my joke, so we'll forget it. That was great. And Bruce lost his dog, beloved little dog, of how many years, Bruce? 18 years. So that's perfect for him to share that joke. It really is. I know, isn't that great? Well, I was reading, I don't know, I've been guided to read, how many of you know, a lot of you know him, but Joel S. Goldsmith. And I have several books of his, and he did a practice called the Infinite Way. And the Infinite Way was really a teaching, and a lot of it was how to connect and tap into your innate intelligence, your infinite wisdom within you. And so I found a great reading because, of course, I got pulled in this. And I'm just going to read this for you before we move into our next part. The power of silence in our living the principles of truth without speaking of them, others witness what takes place and are led to us. This is the principle of the infinite invisible. We do not have to speak truth. We do not have to advertise it. We have to live it. And then it spreads out from us without our being aware of how it happened. None of us knows why people are influenced in the direction of truth. The only thing we know is that it is not humanly induced. The greatest power on earth is the power of silence. Spiritual power cannot be expressed in words or thoughts, nor can it come through words or thoughts. Only through silence, when the senses are at rest, can spiritual power be released. That is why, whether we are in prayer for some problem or our own or for that of another, or whether it is on the wider level of the nation or the world, the rehearsing in our mind of basic spiritual principles is only a step leading to a period of absolute silence in which the invisible spirit can come through. If we are not careful, we may be trapped in the belief in temporal power, the power of numbers, or the power of some human do-good activity. In the period that lies just ahead, let us remember to open ourselves to spiritual grace instead of trying to work out the rights and wrongs of any problem, personal or national. In this way, we may be able to introduce something that will change the picture. Well, Roxy and I were talking about, some things that we would like to enhance and shift and grow at the center of the heart. And, I realized after reading this and after talking to her that, it's always an inside job. And it's always about us, allowing the divine to guide us. So we are going to do today something which is, I consider, a practice in oneness. And how we're going to do this. So my talk title is Be Willing to Do Something New and Different. We're going to do something new and different today, okay? So with that, Roxy, you got your card, girl? Okay. So let's take a moment, and before we even move into this, what is oneness to you? Do you want to share, what does oneness mean to you? Anybody have a description or a word that you want to share with us before we do this? Because oneness, in our teaching, it's about the collective consciousness. It's about us coming together. And normally, you'll see something out in the world where somebody has an invention, then all of a sudden 20 other, 30 other, 200 other people have the same invention. That's because we are all tapped into that same creativity, that same infinite intelligence. And so today, what I wanted to do was pull a card for all of us gathered here today, okay? And what we're using it as a tool for the divine to tell us what will assist us in growing, in healing, in whatever we need to be. And for each and every one of you, please get present to what is this for me? Because we are connected, we are all one. And so as Roxy reads the card or explains the card, then you can grab a word, you can grab maybe the image, we'll pass the card around so you can take a look at it. And then we'll just discuss it a little bit, because when we look out in the world, when we all come into equanimity and harmony together, as Thich Nhat Hanh said earlier in that reading, it's that we then make a change and a shift in the world. But when we do it here, where two or more are gathered, we're able to shift the entire planet. You ready to do it? It's Earth Day, let's shift it. Let's do it. So ready? You want to play? Because this is just a tool to tap into that wisdom within us. And you can see it. So how many of you have a deep trust and faith? How many of you really like all the time? And if you don't, this is a way to develop it. Because it's a way to show, oh yeah, there is something in me that's always talking to me. There's something in me that's always communicating with me. And when we believe that and know that it's inside here, it's not outside, it's not getting it from a guru or anybody else, it's always coming from within ourselves. And that's the practice that we teach here. So with that, let's take a moment and just center and allow ourselves to just tap into that infinite wisdom. Let's move into our hearts for a few moments. And breathe and allow yourself to be surrounded by the love and light and peace of spirit. And allow ourselves to now be an open conduit, an open vessel to receive whatever information we are to receive collectively and individually. Oh. Thank you, dear God. Please and thank you very much for all the blessings we are about to receive. Okay, it's open. We're ready. Okay.
So when I start my day, I wake up and I do a meditation. I listen to the bird song. I listen to my heartbeat, count my breaths, and then I move into gratitude. And then I was like, I also pulled a card for the day, because I figure we have a wonderful person in our community. Her name is Dr. Elise Jackson, and she's a scientist, and she has been here many times, and she says that the tarot cards or oracle cards, they work off of your energy, that we're all surrounded, it goes by your vibrations. So I ask myself daily, I'm like, okay, well, I really want to know what's going on underneath the surface. So that's when I pull one of these cards. So I'm going to knock out whatever resting juju is on here between there, and then I'm going to
So should we have somebody pull one, or do you want to do it?
yeah, I can have someone. Does somebody want to come up
Somebody want to
choose
do
a
it?
card, or do you want to choose a card?
Anybody else? Any desire to do it? David, he's smiling, he wants to do it.
So we want to, just, this is for the congregation and so
And ourselves.
everybody.
And our
We're
growth.
all one in this room, so just choose a
Go, David.
Get a good one, David.
Thank you. So what we got is someone by the name of, what did I do with my glasses? All right, I got this deck from one of our members, Brian. He's
not here,
reader.
yeah.
He's not a reader, but this one is called Sanat Kumara, and it's light activation, and it says, share your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So
Wow.
this is, this deck has, it's called the Light Keepers deck, and so it has like a bunch of like mythological people and that are not in normal decks, but I suspect this guy is a Hindu, and anyway, so for collectively, it says to shine your light. So what areas
Mhm.
are you not shining your light? Every person here knows that you came here with a gift. That some of you have seen it, and but sometimes we get our ego self, our small selves, gets in the way. It blocks that flow. So this card basically means get out of your way, go within, let Spirit speak to you. Spend more time in nature. Spend more time in quiet.
Mhm.
Get away from your phones and iPads and technology. It's time for us to collectively connect with that inner knowledge, that wisdom. We just have to get still. And because everyone's personal light is so important, we need you to be running on full gears. Get out of your way. If you need help, ask someone for prayer. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need more education to hone your valuable skills, go ahead and do that. When they say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So this card is a call for each and every person here to reach inside and let that light shine. That light can shine like with a smile, listening to a friend, whine at 3 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock a.m., being of service. It could be like seeing somebody with a hunger sign on the side of the road, and you just came from the grocery store and reaching them for that sandwich and pulling it out, rolling down that window and giving it to that person. It could mean volunteering. It could mean just sitting with a friend who's in need, or being good to yourself. Say you haven't gone to the doctor. You've been walking with a limp. You want to take care of yourself. So this is a call for everyone to heed that light. That light, be in service of the light within you, which means taking care of yourself and each other, being more loving, be more kind, and I think that's it.
Okay, that's good. And then, being that it said, shine your light. Which ways do you shine your light? Have you thought about that? How do you shine your light? Like when you go to the store, you're nice to that person at the checkout, and you're present with them. I mean, it's things like that. It's just little, simple, easy things that make people feel good. So what's one of the ways that you shine your light? Anybody? Yeah, David.
I usually forget that I am a light.
That's right. You forget you are.
I'm so within myself all the time.
Exactly.
That you're a human being you're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Right.
So sometimes just the practice in the morning when you wake up, just gratitude, checking back in with like before the doubts and the fears come rolling in, start thinking about, wow, this bed is comfortable. I'm blessed to have this bed. I've still got my wits about me. I'm not forgetful. I'm not losing my wits. I can get up, and actually move to the bathroom, and it's just start small with just gratitude, because that's light shining in you. When you feel yourself going into the dark, you got to move over to the light and just feel that beautiful essence of God lighting up in your nervous system, firing all those things. You just be grateful, and that's a good spiritual practice, as well as journaling. Journaling, is holding audience for yourself, or talking. Like there's this app I just found. It's an Android app. I don't know if it's on iPhones, but it's called Wysa, W-Y-S-A. It's an app that you talk to. It helps you work through and reframe your negative thoughts. It also leads you through breathing techniques, meditation, It's amazing. It's become my pocket friend. When I don't have, when I'm like, it's too, I won't call anybody at 3 a.m. if I'm having a dark night of the soul. So I talk to this little penguin on my phone. It's a penguin, a chilly willy. But anyway, your light, you gotta get out of your own way. The light must shine. And by all means, let it shine inside of you. Let your joy, connect to that. And that's what that card was all about today.
And then, that brings up something really, really important. How many of you have techniques to get out of your dark stuff? Your mind goes crazy, and what do? I want to hear a little bit about that, because we're talking about bringing the light, but when we're in the dark, what do we do? Anybody want to share about that? Let's go you, and then you.
I really do go to gratitude.
Okay.
This hurts or this aches. Well, okay, at least I had a knee that hurts. I can feel it. And I guess if I can feel it, I can heal it. And I rub it and I say to my knee,
I love that.
I'm sorry, I need to do all that. We're going to take a little rest. Like I would to a little kid that was hurting. I said,
Aww.
make some tea. And I talk to myself and say,
That's great.
and we're going to be happy we have this new tea and this nice cup. And I can talk myself right out of that. And
I like that.
gratitude is my favorite.
I like that. I'm going to go get a cup of tea and talk to my body. That's wonderful. You're so fabulous. You're so wonderful. Okay, and Joe.
I've been blessed to learn a lot of techniques for that, for those purposes in the past few years of necessity. But the best one that I use the most is mindfulness. So, and you can really just pick anything to focus on, like just hold on to your finger and focus on like the feeling or the feeling of your feet on the ground, or of course the feeling of your breathing, and just trying to redirect my awareness to something that's less painful, and then I also like journaling and
Yes.
like you were saying, talking to yourself with a lot of kindness, like
Yeah, compassion for yourself.
Compassion. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Anybody else want to share what you do? Yeah, Susan.
Every time I go into any store or any business, I pray for them. Because a lot of businesses are going out of business, and I just pray for them
That's beautiful.
for prosperity.
That's great. That is so great. I love it. That's wonderful. And yes, movement. You know what? That's true. Get out and take a walk or dance or breathe. Yes. I agree, because you know what? I'll be in a state, and I think the mind sometimes just tries to find things, and I'm going, nah, you're not going to take me into that place. So I'll go for a walk, and then I'll connect with nature, and that really is a wonderful grounding thing to do. Or a hobby that you love. Something painting or dancing or whatever it is, because that's going to help bring you into that place of oneness and in the moment, because we're always in the past or the future. I was talking to my daughter and I said, just keep practicing, right here and right now. Are you okay? Byron Katie talks about asking, are you okay in this moment right now? And yeah, I am. Okay. And that'll help shift. And you just keep saying the question until we move out of it. So is there anything that anybody wants to bring up? And we'll pull another card. What would you like to know about how about how to deepen my connection to spirit? Let's pull a card for that. For each and every one of us. How can I deepen my connection to spirit? What is a practice that I could do? And it's going to give us some insight. So who wants to pull that one?
I will.
Okay, Susan's going to pull that one.
All right. This one is,
Thank you.
Baba G. Okay.
Oh, yay.
This is called, let me Mahavatar Babaji, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. So what that tells me is that,
Yeah.
whoa, that is just a wonderful card, because it's like, it's talking about the connection, that in this connection that we've got to Creator at all times. To remember that. To remember that you were like, each person is like an oak tree. You know, we've got roots going down, we're supported by this wonderful planet. There's people in your lives that are supporting you. And if you ever need an encouraging word, just call us at Center of the Heart, and we'll know for you. But to deepen your awareness of that fact that you are always connected to God, practices that create that. That could be just connecting from media, you know, a media-less day. It's whatever's going to remind you that God is just great, and God is great right where I am. You know, where I am, God is, and where God is, you are. So that's what this card is all about. What did you
Read it again.
Sure. It's called soul expansion. You're always expanding. Your consciousness is expanding. Your awareness is always expanding. And you understand the connections between all things. So this card is like telling us that we know that instinctively. We just need to bring that from the back burner to the front burner, that awareness. And so that's going to keep you grounded, that's going to keep you connected, and that'll allow the wonderful essence and energy of the Creator to show up as you. And that's what this card is about.
Yeah, and allowing that wisdom. Do you all know who Babaji is? Does anybody not? Okay, Babaji is a master being in the Himalayas, and so, you know, he's there, and I actually have a picture in my office. But, you know, it's interesting how sometimes our prayers are answered in various ways. And one of the ways, Roxy and I are always, we want to increase, you know, the congregation. Be careful what you ask for. So we've increased the congregation here, and we have a second church that comes and uses our facility on Sunday. Then we attracted another Shirdi Sai Baba prayer group. So we're increasing the congregation, but it's not all this congregation. It's a collective. So it's fascinating who is being attracted here. So we're just praying, okay, we accept whichever way it comes. We're grateful, and we're just grateful because we have this devotion from all of these different groups, and the prayers that get said here, we just feel blessed. That's all I can say. It's just gorgeous.
We have people who are happy to praise God.
That's
You know,
exactly right.
When they walk through that door, they're like, here, I'm here to take care of that praise business, you know. And so we have happy people who are part of this organization in some form or fashion.
And teaching that beauty and to give. And the Shirdi Sai Baba group, they actually go out to the community, and they're doing things for the community in the outer world. I just want you to all look at that middle picture, the Buddha head in the clouds. And that's the last picture that Sue Halstenberg painted before she made her transition and died. So that was the one that was, I'm getting chills right now. And she started painting these mystical faces behind the veil. She did the female, then she did that one, and that was the last one she did before she passed on. So it's quite beautiful just to witness that beauty within ourselves and to know that we have that always, always, always. So I wanted to close out with something from, have you all heard, thank you Roxy, awesome. Have we haven't, I think you've used this. You can heal your life. Okay, so I've been guided to use this book. It's interesting how people will say things to you, but it's also for you. Okay, so my daughter is healed from breast cancer, but she has to continue to heal her mind so she doesn't freak out and worry about it all the time. So one of the books she was guided to was this book, and she's reading all these things we start reading when we were brand new, you know, getting into the spiritual path. It's really beautiful. And then she's doing the Course in Miracles, and then I said, I'll pull out my Course in Miracles, because everything that we have, and I think, you know, we're always being guided and our soul's always talking to us. And I realized recently that I'm feeling this unrest, and I go, oh, time to deep dive again. So that's where I am, and then times will just be like cruising along. You ever just cruise along and you're all good, and then all of a sudden you gotta go deep dive again, all right? So I want to close this with an affirmation that Louise Hay wrote, and if you want to repeat after me, I love this. I have my page to this. In the infinity of life where I am, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. All is perfect, whole, and complete. I support myself, and life supports me. I support myself, and life supports me. I see evidence of the law working all around me. I see evidence of the law working all around me, and in every area of my life. And in every area of my life. I reinforce that which I learn in joyous ways. I reinforce that which I learn in joyous ways. My day begins with gratitude and joy. My day begins with gratitude and joy. I look forward with enthusiasm to the adventures of the day. I look forward with enthusiasm to the adventures of the day, knowing that in my life all is good. Knowing that in my life all is good. I love who I am and all that I do. I love who I am and all that I do. I am the living, loving, joyous expression of life. I am the living, loving, joyous expression of life. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. And so it is. And so thank you, everybody, and many blessings. Thank you for being here. And I hope that you received a little tidbit today that helps you on your spiritual path. Peace and blessings. Okay. All right.